Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video we're going to be going over the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy a Ford Mustang SN95 / New Edge. We're doing them both at the same time here because they're pretty much the same thing, and New Edge is just a facelifted SN95. Cry about it. Cry about it. Also, if anybody lives in the New England area, I know this is completely random. How are you alive? I am freezing cold. I have been freezing cold for the past week straight. My heater has been going absolutely hog wild trying to keep this house warm. It's the warmest it's been in the past week was 10 degrees. It is miserable out here, man. I'm freezing. How are you guys? How are we alive, man? It's ridiculous, I say. Either way, media of the day is Plastic Cigarette by Zach Bryan. I feel like it's been a while since we did a song for the media of the day, and this song is an absolute banger. I love Zach Bryan. Call it basic, call it whatever you want to call it. I don't care. He's one of my favorite artists of all time, honestly. I'm not even joking. I love his music, man. It gets you in the feels, but also just makes you feel nice and happy sometimes. It's a good song. Go give it a listen if you haven't already. But the way these videos work, in case you're new here, is first I go over one good thing, and then one bad thing, and then one good thing, and then one bad thing, until we get to 10 total, 5 of each, and at the end of the video I tell you my final thoughts on the car. And obviously, for those who don't know, I've never owned one of these cars, so I pretty much just go off of like community consensus and forums and things like that. So if you do own one of these cars, or you know somebody that owned one of these cars and you think there's a vital piece of information that I missed, or you think I got something wrong, the comments are public. I'm not trying to spread misinformation here, just trying to make a helpful video. But without further ado, let's go right into it with the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy a Ford Mustang SN95 / New Edge. And reason number 1 why I think you should buy an SN95 Mustang is, of course, the sound. Now, obviously, with the V6s, this is not a strong point, but with the V8s, this is a very big strong point. There is really no, okay, I know sound is personal preference. 9 times out of 10, it is personal preference. But there's no one in the world that's going to tell you that a Lamborghini Murcielago sounds bad. You know what I mean? Same way that I feel like no one in the world is going to tell you that American V8s sound bad. They just don't. They sound incredibly good, and of course the SN95 and New Edge Mustangs GGs are going to sound good as well. They're not the best sounding. I'm not sitting here saying they're the best sounding V8 of all time. Not even close. Not even remotely close. But for a car that you're going to be getting for pretty freaking cheap, you really can't beat the sound here. Again, this is personal preference, I know, but I don't think anybody's going to really disagree with me on this one. However, reason number 1 why I think you should not buy a SN95 Mustang is the space. Both cabin and cargo space on the SN95s is just not great. It's not horrible, but it's exactly how you would expect a muscle car to be, especially a 90s muscle car nonetheless. Like, they're already small muscle cars, but when they were built in the 90s, they're even smaller. There's no real space, no real surprise there. But yeah, there's been plenty of reports of people that are taller or bigger, heavy set fellas buying an SN95 Mustang and just getting a little bit uncomfortable in there. And the cargo space is obviously no better, really. It is technically a 4-seater. There is back seats, but again, those seats are going to be pretty much useless. So just keep that in mind. It's something that a lot of people don't really think about until they actually buy the car, myself included. I bought an Integra without thinking about the space, and that's the biggest downside to my Integra, in my opinion, is just the space of it. I'm a taller guy, and it can get a little bit annoying. However, reason number 2 why I think you should buy an SN95 Mustang is, of course, the aftermarket support for them. They are very cheap, inexpensive cars, and there are a lot of them. Whether they're V6s or V8s, there are a ton of these chassis out there. And so, of course, that means that a lot of companies decided to make some parts for them. They don't have as much aftermarket support as something like a freaking Civic or 240SX, obviously, but when you compare them to a lot of other muscle cars besides like the LS, these cars have insane aftermarket support. No matter what it is that you're trying to buy for these cars, chances are you'll have 10 or 20 even options to choose from for all different kinds of price points. And 9 times out of 10, muscle cars don't have a lot of aftermarket support for like cosmetics, for like body kits and stuff like that. But the New Edges and SN95s actually do. There are a ton of body kits out there for these cars available for you. It's because it looks like honestly, it kind of looks like a JDM car. It doesn't really look like the typical muscle car. And so a lot of people like to stand some and make them have these crazy body kits and drift them. And so a bunch of companies have all kinds of aftermarket support for these cars, and it's through the roof. It's really cool, actually, especially for a muscle car. However, that leads me into my next reason here. Reason number 2 why I think you should not buy an SN95 Mustang is the tuning potential. Even though this car, like I literally just said, has a ton of aftermarket possibilities, aftermarket capabilities, whatever you want to call it, the potential for the motor to build actual good power is unfortunately not really there. At least not when you compare it to its main competitor, the LS, obviously, in the Camaros at the time. It's no real surprise that 90% of these big horsepower SN95s, Fox bodies, New Edge Mustangs, whatever you want to call them, any of these Mustangs, are LS swapped. It really isn't that crazy to say that. And so unfortunately, even though it has a ton of support, the potential for it is just not up to par with the competition. That's not to say it's horrible though, obviously. I want to make that crystal clear. You still can have a ton of fun modifying your SN95 Mustang to get some pretty decent power output out of it. It's just it's gonna feel like you're kind of wasting your time there when the LS is just a better option. However, with that being said, one good part about the motor, reason number 3 why I think you should buy an SN95 Mustang is the reliability. There's no denying the fact that the 4.6 liter V8 from Ford back in the 90s, early 2000s was just absolutely incredible. It really was. Now, is it fun to work on? Absolutely not. It's no surprise to anybody there. It's not fun to work on, but luckily for you, you probably won't have to work on it that much because they're reliable as all hell. These are the same motors that they were putting in the Ford Crown Victoria police cars of the time, and obviously, say what you want about the government, they're not the smartest out there, but they were when it came to putting in some reliable motors in their cop cars, because they knew that these things needed to be reliable. Police are going to be driving them 24/7. They need to stay running, and so they put the 4.6 liter V8s in them. It is truly an incredible motor in that sense. It's a very reliable motor. Now, again, when it does break, bit of a nightmare, but it won't break very often. Reason number 3 why I think you should not buy an SN95 Mustang or New Edge is all the problems that are going to come with age. These are basic things. I say this in a lot of my videos because a lot of my videos I talk about 90s cars, 2000s cars, 80s cars, because that's what I like and that's what you guys seem to like as well, so it works out perfectly for us. But yeah, it's just like every other car out there that's from the early 2000s, 90s, or 80s, or even earlier than that, obviously. There's going to be things that just, the weather has gotten to them, the elements have gotten to them, and it's gonna be showing its age. Things like paint fade, seals being broken. My friend Zach bought a BMW 525i E39, and it was such a good car. Like, he got it for such a good deal too, like $2K. And then the first day it rained, it was just a puddle of water in his passenger seat because the seals were just busted. All the rubbers, they're gonna be busted. Gaskets might be just cracking. Electronics might not work. The interior might be plastic or cracking. There might be a freaking entire colony of spiders in the car. All just rust might be a major issue as well. All just foggy headlights, just tiny little things that add up over time that get a little bit annoying and frustrating. Things that aren't going to 100% make or break the car. Rust probably will, but everything else is not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to buy this car because of this problem. You can fix them. They're just these little tedious tiny things that just kind of annoy you, and over time build up. Might be wrong with this car. So just be careful when going to look at one. You have to be a lot more careful when going to look at a car that's 20 years old, obviously, than you would if you were going to look at a car that's maybe 5 years old. Reason number 4, though, why I think you should buy an SN95 Mustang is the fact that they are rear-wheel drive and a manual transmission. Again, everybody has their own taste here, but in my opinion, my favorite combination is rear-wheel drive and manual transmission. There are guys out there that like automatic and front-wheel drive. Hey, to each their own. To each their own. Not my personal style, but to each their own. I like rear-wheel drive and manual, and I think a lot of car guys do. It's the reason why a lot of sports cars are rear-wheel drive and manual. They're just so much more fun. You can just do so much more fun things with them, in my opinion. And this car is offered as that. This is also a reason why I wouldn't really worry too much about the problems that come with age, because if you're planning on buying an SN95 Mustang just to thrash on it, who really cares anyways? And most of the time, that's why people are buying these cars. Even the V6, like, dude, you do buy like V6 SN95 Mustang for like $3,500. And yes, it's not going to have as much tuning potential, as much power out of the gate as the V8, but if all you're looking for is just a thrash machine to have fun with, well, guess what the V6 will have? A rear-wheel drive drivetrain and a manual transmission, gosh darn it. So that's more than enough to have a ton of fun. However, reason number 4 why I think you should not buy an SN95 Mustang is simply put, the looks. Now again, just like the sound we talked about earlier, the looks are obviously all personal preference. Some people may love these cars, some people may hate them. I'm on the side that loves these cars. I actually think the SN95 or New Edge Mustang is one of, if not my favorite as Mustang generation in terms of looks. I love them, but to be honest, that is because I already am a big fan of the lighter weight Japanese sports car design, and that is what the SN95 Mustang looks like. It looks like some sort of Japanese tuner car, not an American muscle car. So if you are a big fan of the big, boxy, American V8 powered large wheelbase muscle cars that look mean and menacing, the SN95 Mustang might catch you off guard a little bit. It might be one of the weaker muscle cars out there for you. I've seen lots of muscle car guys complain about the looks of this generation. I personally like it though. It's all personal preference here, but if you are a typical muscle car guy, I'm sure you probably won't. Now, with that being said, reason number 5 why I think you should buy an SN95 Mustang is because they are very lightweight for a muscle car. Again, this is a direct result of the fact that they made it smaller. I love that. That's why I love these cars. It makes me so happy to think that you can have an American V8 that's fun as hell, but not in a land yacht, and that makes me happy. I like muscle cars. I really do. I think they're incredibly underrated cars nowadays because everybody in the car community just likes JDM stuff, and I think there's still plenty of stuff to love about them. But a lot of them are big, heavy boats that don't like to corner. Well, the SN95 Mustang and New Edge Mustangs are the opposite of that, and they're very lightweight. Again, for a muscle car, obviously they're not like a freaking Mazda Miata, but you can have a ton of fun not only in a straight line but also in the twisties with your SN95 Mustang. It's not crazy to say that, and I love it for that. Gotta. And finally, reason number 5 why I think you should not buy an SN95 Mustang, and if I'm being honest, this is kind of a small reason. I kind of like forced myself to come up with another reason, but here you go, is that it's very bad gas mileage. They're V8s, so the gas mileage is obviously not going to be great compared to other cars, but it's actually not that bad when you compare them to other muscle cars. So it really isn't even like, that's not even really like the baddest point out there. It isn't going to be obviously incredible. It's not going to be a Toyota Corolla or a Honda Civic, but it's also going to be a whole lot more fun than a Toyota Corolla or a Honda Civic. So obviously, well, depends on the Civic obviously, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, if you care about gas mileage, I guess, and you're watching this video, here's the reason why you shouldn't buy it. I have a funny feeling though, 99% of the people watching this video couldn't care less if the car gets 8 miles per gallon or gets 80 miles per gallon. We just want to have a fun car, and that's what the SN95 Mustang is. So my final thoughts though, do I think that you should buy a SN95 Mustang or Ford Mustang New Edge, GT, or V6? Well, I think they are super cool cars, and if you're looking for a project, they're unbelievably awesome for it and a very good budget option right now. But daily driving one does sound like it would be kind of miserable. They're also very sketchy to go look at since they are old and cheap, so be careful if you do plan on buying one. It's not a car that I would recommend as a, you know, you're a high schooler or college kid looking for a car that's going to help them get through high school or college. I would not recommend it for that. It is fun and it is reliable, but they are old, they are sketchy, and they are not going to be the most comfortable car to own. On top of that, if you live in a winter area, these are high horsepower, high revving, well, not high revving, I don't know why I said that, high horsepower rear wheel drive V8s. It might be a little bit sketchy in that aspect as well. On top of all of that, if you're a typical muscle car guy and you like the basic muscle car, land yacht, massive, just huge wheelbase, loud American V8 that has tons of potential to make insane power, then this is unfortunately not for you. This is a weird car where it's kind of a hybrid between an American muscle car and a Japanese style lighter weight sports car with a shorter wheelbase and stuff like that. It's a really, really acquired taste, but I think if you have the taste for it and you are smart enough to know that it isn't the best daily driver, then I think they're an incredible option. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of the 5 reasons why you should and the 5 reasons why you should not buy a Ford Mustang SN95 or New Edge, both the V6 and the GT. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what videos I'd see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. And yeah, next 5 reasons why you should and 5 reasons why you should not buy is going to be on the Mark IV GTI. I already wrote up the script. I want to talk about it. You guys know how much I like the Mark IV GTI, so that's going to be the next one. But if you are interested in seeing a specific car on these reasons why you should and reasons why you should not buy videos, the comments are public, and that's usually how I go off of recommendations. I got the Mark IV GTI off of a recommendation, and I love the Mark IV GTI, so I figured why not. There are going to be some instances, obviously, where if you leave a recommendation, I might not do it just because it might not be the best for views. I've seen some people recommend cars that I've never even heard of before. It's just like, I'm not trying to say I'm like the smartest guy out there, but if I've never heard of it before, there's a good chance it's not the most popular car, and it probably won't do great for views, and I'm a YouTuber at the end of the day. I gotta think about that kind of stuff, so hope you guys understand behind that. But yeah, if you guys want to see your car, recommendations are the best way of getting it done. Also guys, my hair, again, dude, it's starting to drive me nuts. I'm starting to give up. Like, I really want to like grow it out and have it be long hair. You guys know that. I've been talking about it for the past like 5 videos now. But it's getting so annoying. I don't know how guys do this. I don't understand how guys have long hair. dude, it's like itchy and frustrating, gets in my way sometimes. Like, it takes longer in the shower now too, and I look like a hobo. Like, damn, how do you guys get this done? Oh my god, it's frustrating. It is so frustrating. But I gotta lock in, I guess. I don't know. Let me know if you have long hair, if you're a longer hair kind of guy. How? I'm not talking like, I'm not going like down to here, you know. I'm literally just talking like kind of like a, well, I showed you guys a picture of it in the last video, but I forget his name. Bradley Cooper, is that his name? I don't know. The guy in The Hangover, the handsome dude in The Hangover. I don't think I look like him, but I want his hair. That's the kind of hair I want. And so like that length, like a surfer boy cut, you know, like that's what I want. But it's just like, god dang, man, I can't even get it to that length without just like driving me nuts. It gets in the way. It's so annoying. I don't know how people do it. Let me know. Let me know if you have long hair, how you manage. And also same with the beard thing, man. Again, I want to have like a nice full beard, but very short. And so I heard the best way of doing that is letting it grow out and then trimming it. So that's what I'm doing. Man, is it annoying though. Again, same thing, just like the hair. Actually, arguably the beard is more annoying because it's like really itchy. If I don't like shower and put shampoo and soap and stuff in my beard every single day, every day, the next day it gets like itchy and just feels like I have like freaking bed bugs in there or something. It's annoying. So let me know if you have a long beard, how you manage to do with that too. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.